Okay, so before we get started, I need to do something that I should have done a long time ago. So the point of this video is to talk about the neutral spine position or the proper spine position that will help you in the pull of the snatch or the clean. It could even help with the deadlift, and it can help you with a back squat. It can help you with the overhead squat and the front squat. And for those of you who've been following this channel for a little bit, you know that I have had to work past a back injury. And to be honest, the back is actually feeling a lot better. But my back injury, it's hard to say what the source of that was. But I can tell you that my style of pulling for the longest time was just to think about arching my back against the force of the bar. So essentially my thought process was, if this bar is pulling me round and wants to pull me into a cat back position, I'm just gonna pull back against that. I actually got really far with that style of pull. But what was happening over time was I was becoming very immobile with my low back. My low back was just becoming like a brick. And what occurs in the maximum depth squat, particularly in the snatch, sometimes in the clean. I actually talked about this a couple videos ago, talking about the ass to grass squat. But what occurs is that anterior tilt becomes harder and harder to maintain. And with a lot of elite lifters and a lot of just good movers, that curve in the low back can be lost. And it might even go past neutral a little bit. And that can be totally okay. A lot of people are anti-butt wink, but the butt wink is only bad in very specific cases. In my case, I felt like it was pretty bad. What was happening was I was pulling with that arched position. And then as I was pulling myself under to get into that max depth overhead squat, that arch had to become undone. And so for me, what I needed to do was fix something. Was to take a step back, work on my technique, and focus on core pressure and abdominal pressure rather than focus on that arch. And as soon as I did that, I felt so much more confident in my pull because I was able to catch in a lower position and not have that whip in my pelvis. And someone that exemplifies this exact concept is Laura Donatoma. All Things Gym just posted a video of her doing power snatches and power clean and jerks. Definitely go watch the full video. I've sent countless of videos of her lifting to my lifters, and I've studied her lifting like crazy. And I think the back position in her pull is probably one of the most endearing qualities of her technique. It's almost jarring to see how straight of a back she has, and how something that I always thought needed to exist doesn't even remotely exist in her back. She doesn't have that arch against. You can see she's just focusing on that abdominal pressure, and she has tremendous success. One of the things that's really crazy is her bottom position. She's able to finish her pull and catch in this bottom position with almost no turnover in her pelvis, no whip. I've started to use some of the more powerlifting style cues. One of them is simply just pulling your ribs down. And immediately when you pull your ribs down, you can feel your abs engage. And just because you pulled your ribs down doesn't mean that you have to arch your back. It's simply just to engage here. You can still raise your head up and pull normally. I started to deadlift, clean pull, back squat, overhead squat, snatch, clean and jerk, everything with this neutral position in mind. I started to focus on the mobility in my lumbar spine, and it's helped a ton. The bottom line with videos like this is that I don't know what style of pull you have and what you do, but something that I've learned from this injury is that I'm always consistently trying to adapt and change something so that I can progress. You may have a neutral position, you may have an overarched position, you may have too rounded of a low back and a straight upper back. You may have all these things. So it's important to try and look at the way that you pull and make adjustments and experiment and just keep moving. So that's gonna be the end of this video, but I do have an announcement to make. Max Ada and I will be doing a seminar in July, on July 27th at Onnit in Austin. It's gonna be a one-day seminar and it's gonna be really awesome. I will put the link to the tickets in the description. And I hope to see you there.